10 seconds remaining.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chinese qualifiers for the Captain's Draft 4.0 Minor. We are here with VGJ.Thunder versus LFY in our lower bracket round 1 matchup in this best of 3 series. Thank you so much for joining us here on this elimination game, our last series of the day, in fact. VGJ.Thunder going down, of course, in the first round, along with LFY, who I believe went down to VG Gaming, or yes, excuse me, VG Gaming, and then, of course, VGJ.Thunder lost to Newbie, if I'm remembering correctly. That sounds about right, but either way, these teams are in the lower bracket. They're facing off against each other. Both teams, in fact, all 4 of these teams in this particular tournament, having some good results in DPL, taking games off one another for the most part. VGJ.Thunder, I think, just beat VG Gaming in DPL, so we have some really good teams despite being in the lower bracket here, Baseskip. This should be a pretty good matchup, I think, all things considered.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how these two teams kind of play off against one another, and I think this is often kind of the case in China, that there's sometimes like one Chinese team that's doing really well in terms of their like international results, but when it comes to the internal scene, it's often quite a bit more muddled.
Right.
And some teams have other teams' numbers and then get beaten by other teams they just can't seem to like notch any wins against, and I think that's always pretty good for the health of the Chinese Dota scene. I think some of the times where Chinese Dota has stagnated the most have been when there's like a really clear cut 2 best teams, and then pretty much everyone after that is tier 2. But China as a region definitely looking quite good. And I mean, what next TI if the pattern continues? It's supposed to be
one of these teams.
China.
Yeah, one of these Chinese teams. We'll see who it is. It looks like VG Gaming right now after how they've been playing. But that's right now. Yeah. We're still in the very early stages of this year of Dota, right? We're in November. You know, we're not until August are we getting into TI, and things could change rather drastically. I mean, look at what happened to Wings, one of the best teams of all time, you know, and they're there for a while, and all of a sudden they're not. And it's just, it changes that quickly. But anyways, we're into the draft. LFY are going to pick some interesting heroes. This is an Elder Titan Void Shadow Demon start. They first picked Shadow Demon. Then the VGJ.Thunder side picked Bat Rider Silencer, and then LFY picked these last 2 heroes. So far, we've got a pretty interesting draft on our hands right now, Baseskip.
Yeah, I like the opening from VGJ.Thunder. Bat Rider Silencer feels very powerful. In terms of the bans, I'm not at all surprised to see the Beastmaster banned out. Everybody's been, I think especially everybody in China has been kind of raving about that hero. Newbie in particular, to me, stand out as a team that were they were afraid of it and they were banning it, and now they're picking it themselves. We didn't see it in either of the 2 games that we watched between Newbie and Vici, but one of the things that I was looking at in preparing for that cast was that Newbie, in the last 3 Beastmaster games that they've played, every time that they got it, they won in under 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So not at all surprising to see Beastmaster banned out. And the one thing I worry about a little bit for LFY's draft so far is potentially a lack of damage, but maybe we could see a Zeus. I'd really like to see a Zeus with their draft so far.
That would certainly help. Zeus, something to pump out the damage inside the Chronosphere. There's always that like Skywrath combination. I think after what we've seen earlier, Shadow Demon and Elder Titan, that's probably your support duo for LFY. Yep. I would assume, because I really don't like Elder Titan offlane, I think. So
yeah, I think ET offlane sounds super weird. Like some people, you go all the way back. People talk about like the core Elder Titan going for right click, run your spirit through everybody, go and lay down some punches. But I think the plan is definitely just to have him be the 4 this game. In terms of where this Void is going to land, that's maybe a little bit more of a question mark. I don't know what their plan is to deal with this sniper necessarily.
That's kind of good.
The Bloodseeker.
Yeah, that can kind of get in there.
Give me the Zeus.
Yeah, that would be the nice combination. I was worried for LFY. Will they take it? No, the Abaddon comes out instead. I thought, okay, VGJ.Thunder, I think, do you think this is more of a deny pick so that they don't have the sniper inside the Chronosphere, or do you think this is just something that VGJ.Thunder are comfortable with, and it's just a good hero? I mean, we saw in the last series, very well played by Ori for VG Gaming, so maybe it's just something Thunder are comfortable with? I wonder.
I think it's partially a comfort thing. I think it's a little bit of everything that you mentioned, but to me, Sniper just seems like he's a hero that really gets the opportunity to shine in a lot of these captain's draft situations. I think especially because the position 4 pool in a lot of the games that we've been watching has been like, or we've been casting, has been relatively weak. And I think in a lot of drafts you rely on having your like position 4 Sand King or position 4 Clockwork or something, to having those 2 forms of initiation to really deal with sniper, and that's so much harder to get in a captain's draft
Right. Yeah.
pool. So I think that's a big part of it.
It makes it a lot harder for sure.
So we got I don't know if these last 2 picks from LFY are a really big switch up from the opening of the draft. It's like the Void synergy is okay. It's very run at you though with Bloodseeker, Abaddon, and
your heroes.
Yeah.
4 Batrider.
It
going
looks
on here?
like it. Yeah, the Sylar Clinks,
Oh, no,
Combo
it's
Sniper.
a support Sven.
Yeah, support Sven coming out from VGJ.Thunder,
Ah,
which is
support
really
Sven,
interesting.
okay.
What else are we looking at here? Super Bloodseeker, Monet Void, so he's in the safe lane. The Abaddon played by Inflame in the off lane, so okay. This is very interesting. The support Sven, as it were. At least that's what it should be.
Yeah, Monet's Void is actually sick. I think he's very, very good Void player. So looking forward to watching him on at this game. Gonna have to get those edge chronos so that his Bloodseeker and Abaddon can get involved with the right clicking.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough for sure. Because, like you mentioned, there's not much damage to pump inside this Chronosphere. Maybe Earth Splitter and Stomp and whatever DDC can provide. I think this is a really good Clinks pick, too. I really like it. They're going to move around the map. There's going to be a lot of pick-off potential. I don't know. These are weird supports, though. This is a weird game in general.
Their front line is so garbage.
Yeah, true.
It's non-existent.
Yeah.
There isn't any. There's nothing to structure the team fight around, really. If any of their heroes get gone on, I feel like they can't really counter-initiate it at all.
Right.
So they're going to be relying on like being on the front foot, and then maybe Clinks can like scout somebody while invis, and then they jump in with the Batrider and keep playing the pickoff game. But to me, it does feel like the Dire lineup is way easier to execute on.
Agreed. I think it's a pick-off lineup for this Radiant team for VGJ.Thunder. They could find a pick here and there, but you're right about a straight-up team fight. You have Chrono, you have the initiation from an Elder Titan Stomp, or an Abaddon just running in because you don't want to focus him down. You're right. This looks a lot easier to get going for LFY than it does for VGJ.Thunder. But again, they have some really strong heroes in the early game and even to the mid to late game. It is going to be a Sven support, starting out with Boots and Ward. A couple of tangos as well. The Batrider is going to be going to the offlane for now for Yang. We'll see what kind of start he can have in terms of getting up that Blink Dagger rather early on. We're going to pause. We got into the game a little bit late because we actually had one of the players for VGJ.Thunder actually in a pub. I think it was Kama.
Yeah,
and,
Kama was playing a pub.
He had 5 minutes left before they were going to get a game 1 loss, but he finally got in there, so...
Let's check if he won that pub. I'm going to try and find out.
Ooh, that is a good question, actually. I want to know. All right, we're good to go. Whatever pause issues we were having, they're gone now, so that's fine.
Good times. So I think another big thing, he did in fact win. He was playing Lifestealer. Yeah.
Okay.
He was playing... yeah.
What did he get? What was his item choice?
He went Phase, Omelet, Deso, AC, MKB, BOT.
Well, that doesn't sound that exciting. It's
No,
just
pretty
standard
standard
Dota.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, the other thing I worry about for VGJ.Thunder is what do they do when somebody gets ruptured? Right? Like, I guess they just sacrifice him because I don't know. I don't know what other options they have. Monet gonna take some shots here.
LFY can't fight level 1, maybe. DDC's got Shadow Poison, and they're going to have to let this go. Yang's going to pick up the Bounty Rune. In the meantime, it looks like Abaddon will get the 1 bottom. Yeah, Inflame's going to just grab them both, so...
Bottom.
Inflame will get a couple of extras. It'll be 2 apiece, 2 a team. Not a huge deal. The biggest thing is that Abaddon gets both of them instead of, I don't know, one of your other heroes for LFY, like Super. But he will start his block out mid lane. He doesn't have too much help coming in. Afu is starting to roam around, but it looks like he's heading bottom. Meanwhile, Ayo will be here for Kama to help out in terms of... Oh, and look at this block, too. Kama's going to have a great time on this high ground. And Super, we'll see how this lane goes. This might be a bit rough in the early stages.
Oh, this is a little bit of a I don't even know if this is a throwback, but this is a pretty interesting strategy. Silencer, one of the few supports, or pretty much the only support, depending on how you want to argue with an orb, who can actually orb walk and do this and just harass nonstop. But seems like Super might still be able to sustain.
He's taking a lot of damage.
Well.
This is going to be tough, especially as the levels continue. Super is getting harassed a lot. He had 2 shared tangos. One of them has already been used. He has also 5 tangos. Again, if he can get some auto, or rather last hits using the Blood Rage, then all of a sudden things get a lot easier for him. But for now, he is getting shredded by those glaives. I mean, absolutely shredded. We'll see.
Yeah, this is going to create quite a bit more space for the Abaddon in the offlane, but at least Clinks is quite a strong solo laner, so doesn't really matter too much. This is the first game I've seen of Clinks since the patch in a competitive context, so I'm interested to see how the
strafe
changes work.
It looks really weird if you've never seen it, by the way. He just dodges it, like he moves to a different location. Oh, come on. All right, that's my bad. All right, well, that's first blood for Fade, getting it with the Stormhammer, and then, of course, bottom, the Abaddon is going to fall. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Yang got 2 Shadow Poison stacks, and he's going to get dropped down here. I believe this is a kill for DDC if he gets another Shadow Poison. He will, and he is dead. So DDC will trigger the poison, secure another kill. It won't be first blood, but both offlaners going down to the beginning of the game. Meantime, Ao is getting harassed. Afu, I think, hit the Astral onto both. He's going to bring it back. He has currently 82 damage total, so they need to be careful. And this will give a little bit more room for Super in the mid lane.
Yeah, I feel like these offlane deaths are not at all uncommon for this patch, right? With the lane starting so close to the tower, there's all of this room to just get run down. So offlaners do seem to be dropping a decent amount, but the good offlaners are still getting a decent amount out of it and making sure that it at least messes up the lane equilibrium so that they can get some farm after that. Since that's the other thing we've been talking about, that it is really hard for the supports to reset the lane once it ends up in a bad position.
Yeah.
So
we talked about this a lot. There's just so little you can do other than pulling the safe lane, or rather or small camp. And then, of course, you have to either stack it or get a connecting pull-off, which is really hard. In the meantime, bottom, Fade, as well as Afu, or rather Afu as well as Inflame, running at Fade and Crew. So they're starting to get harassed down. Of course, the Clinks is still top in the CS, but maybe with help from Afu here, he could do all right. Meanwhile, mid lane, Arcane Curse came out, I believe. And Kama also throws at the Shrapnel. Top lane, they're looking for Yang. Shadow Poison up to 2. He will die again, and DDC gets himself yet another kill. And Monet continues to farm extraordinarily well in the top lane.
Yeah, and they're just punching him bottom. Fade dropping pretty low. Looks like he can be forced back. Sylar going to ferry in a Clarity since he's been thrown out tons of Searing Arrows just to try and deal with the nonstop harassment.
And they're Super back mid. Who's just... It's alright, actually.
Is this lane really shutting him down that bad? He's 4 CS behind.
It's not that bad. Blood Rage just... At this level, level 2 Blood Rage, he's fine now. And he heals up for so much with each last hit. This is actually great for him. And Ao, he's got level 2 Arcane Curse, and he might be throwing it out, but they need to get more done. In fact, he's almost a full level ahead of Kama at this point because of this dual lane. So this is not that bad. He's going to get 6 first and go for like a rupture, and then maybe get a kill. But, all right.
Sylar swiping some bounties there on the Clinks. One of the benefits of having a fairly high mobility hero in your safe lane. They can go and take the bounties for themselves.
Oh, man. They are setting up for a kill. Super, whose Blood Rage is going to get caught. Good disruption save. DDC in the perfect spot. Now Super pops up the Blood Rage, still getting hit up. He's slowed down. A couple more auto attacks. He will fall. Shadow Poison coming in. They're going to try to trade this. Afu still has a DD getting headshotted, though. And he's about to fall as well. He's going to get into the trees in time. Fade just cannot find him the Arcane Curse. That'll take him down. It's going to be close. He is going to try to tangle one more auto attack, and that will secure the kill. It's 2 dead mid. Despite DDC having a great disruption, Super stays a little bit too long, and he was already caught out of position. Now looking for Fade. Another Blood Right will come in, but he will just get hit by it. I don't know if it's going to be enough damage. Super, he's only got level 1 Thirst, and as fast as he moves with that, it's not going to be enough as Kama is still there trying to be the bodyguard and keep this Sven alive.
Yeah, the positioning from the Shrapnel was just so nice. Really prevented him from running back towards the tower at all, and Super had to go right, and then there's all this extra space for the supports to just
They're doing it again, too. Last word, Super will drop once more, it looks like. It's going to be close, actually. Last word's not enough. He's only level 1. Leveled up the Arcane Curse instead, so not quite getting the kill on Super. In fact, he will go Shrine. But you can see now this mid lane is starting to find kills. They're starting to rotate and get a lot done. And at least this will give space for Monet and Abaddon, but at this point, some good kills against Super. Speaking of which, Sylar has dusted up. They're going in deep. Stormhammer onto 2. Abaddon stays way too long, and Afu getting shredded as well. The searing arrows, the tower, it does too much damage. They turn 2 again. Fade with an excellent TP Stormhammer onto 2, and all of a sudden, VGJ.Thunder get a couple of kills going their way. Oh, Super's also dead mid lane. Bloodright will not save him. Oh, actually getting a last hit, I believe, but he will still die to the Arcane Curse and last word of AO. So that was very close again, but another kill going the way of VGJ.Thunder.
Yeah, they're just VGJ.Thunder just pumping him in the early game. Oh.
Well, now Kama's dead. Stomp, well timed by Afu. That's a good kill. They finally get done on the sniper. And that's a good rotation. They needed that because he's starting to get a little farm. 2,400. He's not that farmed. Meanwhile, Sylar bottom 3,300 net worth. Monet is like 500 behind him, and now Sylar's going to start putting pressure on this tower. Back towards mid. Fade will spot out DDC. He does have his disruption in 2. Soul Catcher's available plus Shadow Poison at level 2 as well. But Fade's doing a lot of auto attack damage. Good body blocks. Arcane Curse. Good stomp. Might keep him alive. Here comes the Bloodright. Fade really wants to kill. Sylar's going to get one hit, and that'll do the job. Sylar just comes in. Last hits him, gets the kill, and will back up to his lane. And again, this pickoff potential from VGJ.Thunder, it's pretty strong right now.
Yeah, they're playing their lanes pretty nicely. Sylar getting run down a little bit more once again at bottom. But I think the biggest thing for me to look at in this early game is that Yang is actually doing quite well on the Batrider. Because once they get out of the laning stage, he has to be the one really setting up the fights and continuing to make the pickoffs happen. I mean, Sven can kind of initiate, but that's only gonna last so long.
Exactly.
Right. He maybe picks up a Blink Dagger a little bit later on, but it really, all that burden pretty much falls on the Batrider. So,
especially if you're gonna try to kill the Void too, or even the Abaddon with like the defensive capabilities they have, it's very tough. So yeah, Batrider definitely has to get some good initiation going for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if he gets. I think that he just gets Blink first this game. I think it's too important, but. There is some argument to be made about the fact that LFY have pretty good counter initiation, so maybe you would still see a drum build or something else. But just judging by how much gold he has without buying anything, I think it is just going to be the Blink Dagger rush.
I think so too. He doesn't have anything in his quick buy. He might have already bought his bracer or whatever for the drum had he had enough money for it. Of course he does. I think we'll see the Blink. Probably, maybe a fight changes that, but for now he is going to just farm in the jungle, give this Sven top lane, which I really like as well. Batrider can go jungle rather easily, give this Sven enough to get his item, which is going to be an urn, which I really like, by the way. I think it's a great item choice. And get him some experience as well for Fade.
Yeah, the Spirit Vessel is actually pretty valued in this game. Just in terms of, chuck it on the Bloodseeker, not so easy for him to heal up in fights. Can't really get saved as easily by the Abaddon. I'm pretty sure it must be dispellable, but still.
One would assume.
Could be relevant.
Yeah, even with the Aphotic Shield, I think it's still a good choice. But we'll see. There is a smoke play coming in from LFY. 4 heroes rotating into mid. Kama would be the target. AO is sitting behind him. He doesn't have the best saving potential. He's a silencer. He doesn't have his level 6. They're going to jump in Chrono onto 2. Here we go. They're going to get the blood right down. The stomp to come in as well. A lot of damage. Kama will drop first. Now the Rupture to follow up, and AO getting chased down, running with the Rupture. They're going to even use the time dilation. That will provide Monet a double kill. And that was the Chronosphere they were looking for. Beautifully done from Monet. That's absolutely gigantic.
Yeah. The Monet is kind of the one player that hasn't really been involved in the early game so far from LFY, but definitely going to be a very important part of the game moving forward, and that is such a nice kill to get, especially for a little bit more catch-up for Super.
He is so far behind. He's actually behind that of Fade right now. Super needed that, and he needs a lot more too.
Fade, can you get the TP out?
Looks like they need a disruption. They've got it. He is dead, I think. Soul Catcher. He's blocked in. Good Stormhammer. He can just time walk it off. Doesn't even need to. Mask of Madness will get popped, and Fade is donezo.
Farm the illusion. Get the last hit.
Get the gold. Come on, efficiency, dude. But it is blink, by the way, for Yang on the Batrider, and they're trying to make a move, although he doesn't have it yet. He's like 150 gold short. And they're working on the tier 1 tower mid, and I think they just want to push this with Yang behind. I think Afu might have spotted him. Now, Sylar walks up as well. I think he sees Afu. They do. And this is going to be a pretty easy kill if they have Lasso. They will have it. The Strafe will come in as well. Assassinate's not even needed. Aphotic Shield's not there in time for Inflame. He just backs himself up and Another good kill for VGJ.Thunder.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like they don't really have the potential to transition it into anything. And that could be, like, similar to the last series. We could see that be an ongoing problem for VGJ, with LFY having some pretty good defensive spam heroes. Like, Shadow Demon's maxing out the poison. Elder Titan, of course, is going to be going for the Echo Stump max, it looks like. And we've got the Bloodright. Only 1 point so far from the Bloodseeker, but plenty of ways to spam and defend these towers. Of course, it's not going to matter so much once the sniper gets a bunch of items, but like we've said, it's also hard for like VGJ to structure a fight because they don't really have any front line. So yeah. I think it is actually a bit more difficult for sniper to just sit and hit buildings this game than it would be in like a captain's mode sniper draft, where you're definitely going to have somebody to front line and give vision for you.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult. They have Chrono. They have all, like you said, these spammable abilities. Sylar will spot a rotation coming bottom. There's a ward here on the river that's about to get 30 seconds in duration left, unfortunately, for LFY. They're trying to put some pressure on bottom. Now grouping up with them is going to be AO, who, by the way, does have his global silence. In the meantime, top lane, Fade. He just might get ruptured and killed here. Monet's going to try to chase him down. He has Mask Madness. There's the Bloodright. They won't die of this. They don't know who's behind. And they don't see anybody on the map, and they're going to smoke on both sides, in fact. Inflame now with Phase Drum. Right behind them, Yang and AO. This smoke is about to break. No, it's still got about 15 seconds. They're going to find Sylar. They need dust. They'll drop it. Sylar is still on the run. They see him barely, but now instead they're going to move over to Kama. Global comes out, and this is already a fight for LFY that's going to be troublesome. Lasso comes in. DDC will certainly fall. They do take down the sniper. Good disruption. Chronon to 2. Monet's here. They want to fight. A lot of damage being done. Sylar still pretty tanky. He is going to get out. They don't have any more dust, it doesn't look like. And instead, they'll turn their attention to AO. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade so far for VGJ.Thunder, but there's the bash for AO. Super is speedy. He's looking for Fade as well. He's going to get caught under the Tier 1 tower. Monet is on a killing spree, and the Curses of Avernus is about to hit as well. Fade is just slowed down. They don't even need it. He's just getting right-clicked by Super, who is a race car at this point. They will take 3. They almost get Sylar, but again, he is able to get away, and LFY will try to transition this into a Tier 1 tower. But here we go. Blink in, Firefly. That'll push them off the wave and off the tower for now, and LFY will back themselves up, not trying to get too much here after already getting a successful fight going their way.
It's just so easy for... I guess I had my doubts, but these last 2 picks from LFY are actually going to, it looks like, do so much work this game. That run-at-you factor of the Abaddon and the Bloodseeker makes it so difficult for VGJ.Thunder's lineup to do anything. The Sniper wants space to kind of sit there and hit, the Clinks want some space, and they are not giving them that opportunity at all. They're just up in everybody's face. It wasn't even a bad start to the fight for VGJ.Thunder. I guess they lost the Sniper insanely quickly, but
right.
I don't know what he does to solve that, right? Like, better positioning, maybe, but just essentially tough game to play for him.
Yeah, they're always going to be able to find him in most of these fights with the Abaddon and the Bloodseeker especially. But we'll wait and see. Maybe he gets a Hurricane Pike. Maybe his positioning's a bit better. Maybe they start off the fights a bit more. They have now a Diffusal for Clinks. He is going to get ruptured, actually. Bloodright to come in. Do they have detection? They know where he is. He's going to get earned up. They're sitting right next to him. Beatty's nearby. Stomp's going to come in, and it hits just perfectly. Super's getting really low. They're going to turn this around, and now they're going to use a huge borrowed time, but it doesn't matter because guess what? Sylar is still alive in the Aphotic Shield. He's got to use it on himself. Assassinate will come through. AO's running it. All 5 rotating bottom. They're going to get 3 kills. Sylar's too tanky to take down. And, of course, he just sits in the tree line, waits for the urn to come out, does it, and, of course, gets the heal back up, and they just go to town for VGJ.Thunder. I mean, they blew away 3 different heroes in that fight.
Easy int. But yeah, level 1 Rupture is not that scary of an ability, and a really good call from Sylar, just realizing, like, who are you kidding here? This thing doesn't do any damage. I'm just going to run it off, wait for my team to get the counter initiation, and very nicely played. Bat also turning up at just the right time. And ooh, can they... Alright, there's the glyph. I thought they might somehow simultaneously get the 2 tier 1s, but not quite.
DDC is here, ready to deny, but he might get jumped on. Sylar, Stormhammer, that's maybe the wrong disruption target, but he's dead anyway. Diffusal comes out. They even have the Flame Break. They're going to get the tier 1 tower. Void's coming in. He does have his Chronosphere at the ready, but look how long this TP is taking. They'll try to find Fade. Time dilation. There's the Rupture. They'll probably get this kill. He's going to be the martyr for the cause. They even get the bash. Silence running to his death, but it is just the level 1 Rupture. On the other side, AO was getting chased down by Afu, and Yang will be able to blink away in time. But that's a couple of towers lost for LFY. In fact, a lot of gold lost there in that last fight. I mean, That is a rough couple of moments there for LFY and this dire team.
Yeah, the Clinks is getting quite farmed. He's already got a Diffusal Blade picked up. The Sylar are going to be doing quite a lot of damage. They can continue hunting for these pickoffs. Their vision game is a little bit weak. I think they'd really like to get a smoke going and go and get some aggressive wards down on the LFY lanes and in the LFY jungle, just to scout them out.
They're going to go for a Chrono. And they've caught Sylar. He's inside the Chrono as we speak. I think they have detection. They're going to dust him. The Stomp will come out. This is a huge kill if they can find it, and Monet gets it. That's a dominating spree. That is a lot of gold. Going to be picked up by this Faceless Void. He will finish off his Manta Style in short order. That is Chronosphere used, but that is exactly what you want to use it for, to bring down Sylar, who, again, like you were talking about, starting to do a lot of damage here in this game.
Monet is putting his team on his back, in all honesty. Every play that they've made without Monet has just been kind of clowny, and they trade and things get turned around on them, and Monet is just very cool, calm, and collected, just continuing to find kills, good chronos.
This is kind of a bait. Earth Splitter's going to come out. There's the Rupture. They need it back. The rest of the teams are coming in. They have Global ready. Not only that, but they have the Lasso on top of it. Yang is looking for a target. He's got Force if he wants to slide in and go for a Blink. Lasso. Monet would be the target to do so. In fact, he's going to find him. The Global comes out. There's the Lasso to come through. They need more help. Monet's still pretty tanky. He can maybe time walk this, and in fact, he will. They might need to back up now. This is really dangerous. Assassin's going to come in, but there's the stop. Yang's going to get turned on. Stormhammer, though, they'll turn on Super and bring him down. Even with that Blade Mail pop, it's nearly not enough to keep him alive. In fact, it just destroys him with the Blade Mail. So many damage sources coming in. So Monet will survive. Super gets dropped down. Again, he's already pretty low in the net worth totem pole. But at this point, VGJ, they will take the kill, trying to take the tower. But again, there's so much spam from LFY that they won't be able to grab the tier 1. They have to back up for now. And in fact, Yang staying way too long. He might get killed here if he's not careful. Astral's coming in. He is going to try to go and force himself away. There's the Firefly. He is blank. He will use it and get away across the ravine, across the river, and out to safety for the Batrider.
EDC could have maybe popped that Shadow Poison to keep the Blink on cooldown a little bit longer, but I don't know if it would have gotten them the kill. And we do have the Clinks kind of realizing that the Void is the big problem this game. He's going to be going for an Orchid. Of course, the Abaddon will be able to dispel that.
And there's a Manta 2 coming out for the Void, which is another issue. So
yeah, I wonder if this is actually the most... I guess it's also good for like picking off the Shadow Demon. But...
now he's going to find Super, who he could probably kill.
He's Blood Rage. Surely does he just die?
I think. Yep. They were waiting for it, though. Too little, too late, however. They've got the dust on him. They might trade 1-for-1, although Sylar's going to get some help with Fade. Here comes the God's Strength. They really want this kill on Sylar. They're going to find it with the Chronosphere, and in fact, it's on 3. Shadow Poison's flying in as well, and this is a lot of damage Fade is taking. Good push up to the high ground, though. The Flame Break still won't save Fade. Now they're looking to try to chase after Kama. He might be in some trouble. He will get a headshot proc, trying to stay alive, but there's going to be the bash coming in, and Kama is going to get dropped down. A triple kill for Monet. This is looking so good. Can they find anything else? Ao is on the run as well. He's up to the high ground. The Stomp will come in. It will just narrowly miss, but they've got the Curse of the Avernus onto the Silencer. The last word on Arcane Curse won't do enough as the Photic Shield comes out, and Ao will get dropped down, and they might even get more. Yang's been caught. It's going to be all 5 for VGJ.Thunder getting dropped. Monet gets another timely bash. He will force himself away. Maybe he makes it out. The time dilation's still up. Come more auto attacks. He's at the shrine. TP's too late. Monet dances it off. All 5 dead. A monster kill spree and one fantastic Chronosphere from this Faceless Void.
Yeah, Bat just not really getting anything off in that fight, but I don't even think it's his fault. It's a really hard, it's not an easy Batrider game to play when there isn't anyone to go and find targets for you necessarily, and just a really treacherous place to take a fight right next to that, right next to the shrine. I think if even a single player of LFY had randomly had their TP on cooldown because they just TP'd to go farm a wave or something like that, that's probably a really cleanly executed gank for VGJ.Thunder, and they potentially get some follow-up afterwards. Of course, the Chrono would have still been there for Monet to go and get in position, but LFY's team fight, again, just looks so much easier to play in this situation. They lose the Bloodseeker almost instantly and just doesn't really matter too much.
And that's the issue. I mean, you're losing Bloodseeker, but at this point, Super doesn't care. He knows he's low in net worth. He's really relying on this Void and the Abaddon to really pump out the damage. And maybe late game, Super not having farm is an issue, but like you said, they get one kill, and then where do they go from there? They have to have a good Stormhammer initiation. They only have one lasso target. So you got to choose wisely if you're VGJ.Thunder. Speaking of choosing, LFY, they're going to choose to go aggressive onto Fade. Astral's about to come out. Stomp might hit. It will. Now the jipping from Monet. Chrono will get dropped down. AO, he does have Global. I don't think he's going to use it. Solo Chronosphere getting Monet Godlike. Definitely not a bad usage there. It's going to be back up in about 2 minutes anyways. So really good stuff to find them a kill. And perhaps a tier 1 tower if they can push in here. We'll see if they can.
They have potentially exposed themselves a little bit now that the Chrono is on cooldown and the Global Lasso is up and ready to be used, but whether or not VGJ.Thunder can make a play is the question. And their vision game is still severely lacking.
Ooh, Rupture onto Yang. He's just going to go for an immediate TP. No way to stop that. Afu not in position. Now Sylar's coming in. Super needs to be a little careful. We've seen this before. He will make it to his tier 2 tower in time. In the meantime, the tier 1's going to be taken mid. So they're not going to find anything just yet. Although, Kama's getting run at. Oh, Inflame almost found him. Oh my god, he almost found him. That would have been huge if they could get that kill, but nah, he's fine. He's back towards the tier 2 with his friends nearby. Sylar's dusted up. Monet, Mask of Madness, how long's the dust up for? Still another few seconds here. Bash comes out. He needs more damage. Another Bash. There's the Demonic Purge. They get the kill. Monet gets the luck again. The RNG is with him. The time lock procs for Faceless Void, securing yet another giant kill. Now on the other side, Yang will find Inflame. A tough target to take down. He already has used his borrowed time. Assassinate will come through. They can't chase him down because Lasso was used for that borrowed time, I believe, as that was all happening top lane. So again, a very good trade for LFY once more. And
I think this Monet guy, he might be a little bit good at Faceless Void.
Yeah, I might agree with you. Kama's going to get killed. Stomp. He's going to try to turn and fight. Here comes Super. And he just tried to turn on Afu. Nothing he could do there. Yang needs to be careful. Again, he has 4 steps. Should be able to get away fine, but he doesn't have Lasso to use. Super's kind of caught a little bit, but he's fine. And they're winning without Monet now. They're getting fights. They're getting pickoffs without this Faceless Void. And he's the big thing. He's the big reason why LFY are doing so well. But damn, are they owning right now. They've really swung this net worth lead back around in their favor.
Yeah, and he's getting farmed to the point where any way that they try and adjust to deal with him is going to be somewhat thwarted, right? Monet's already got his Manta for potential Orchid. He's going to have a Lincoln soon for the Lasso. So what do they do? I guess they do still have... They have multiple silences. They've got everything that Silencer has, plus the Orchid and another 100 gold from the Clinks. So it's not completely impossible.
They can chain stun him to a certain extent before the Lincoln Sphere comes out. I don't know. It's not easy. That's for sure. You're right about this. It's not easy to bring it down, especially if Inflame is near him. He just aphotics him and miscoils him, and he's fine all of a sudden. So
yeah. And what VGJ.Thunder's lineup lacks is what LFY's lineup has in spades. When you've got this, like, I guess let's say secondary initiation here, or even your primary initiation here. Oh, hold that thought. Fade might be dead. No, I guess he's okay. But when you've got an initiation hero, when you have beefy heroes like the... Alright, Fade, are you dead or not? That was
he had a blink. Yeah, that's not going to save him. But he's under the tier 2 tower. I don't think they really care. They're like, yeah, TP in. We have Chrono. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
But yeah, I guess the summary of the point is that when you have heroes that can go and tank in the front lines, it makes it that much easier for an initiator to play. Because they have the vision from those heroes, and they're not in any situation where they can possibly be jumped. Like we're talking about, I'm talking about this as if Monet is somehow going to be just standing on the front lines all by himself. That's not the situation. It's going to be the Abaddon and the Bloodseeker on the front lines. He's also going to be not too far away from his Shadow Demon, so I have no idea how you successfully kill him.
I just realized there's a disruption in this game as well, because we don't see this hero, or at least we haven't for a while. He's been picked up a lot in the past few games, and DDC is there to save him with disruption. That is a very good point. Yeah, I'm not sure how you kill this man. In the meantime, Sylar is going to kill Afu with an Orchid, but they're going to lose their tier 2 tower, and I don't think Afu particularly cares. And another tower for LFY, and again, Super is still building into this BKB. Once he gets that, things get a lot easier. There's the Lincoln Sphere for Monet. So, yes, now very difficult. Probably, if Monet is not out of position, it's impossible to kill him, pretty much. I'll say that. I think that's an accurate statement.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. Abaddon just kind of continuing to build this right-click setup. I don't know, stalking him, but...
Can they kill him?
Doesn't have a TP scroll, so.
True, but the rest of his team is sort of moving in this direction. No, maybe not. He's at the tier 1 tower.
I think it's a very, very difficult go.
Oh, Monet is way out of position. Lincoln Sphere is broken. They've got the lasso on him. They've got the Arcane Curse. They've got the Orchid. They've got the Stormhammer. They've got the Global. The Manta comes out. He time walks in and gets the Chrono off, but Sylar walks in. The Astral. The Stomp is going to come through. Yang is dead. The Earth Splitter hits onto 3. Here comes Super. The race car. They're going to lose everybody. Kama will try for a TP. He will make it out, but my God, Monet, you can't kill him. You just can't do it.
Question mark, dude. If this is NA Dota, that's.
Oh, there's an immediate question mark there for sure.
That's a question mark for sure.
Yeah. No such luck though in China, but we were. That was literally what we were talking about for the past like 5 to 10 minutes, and they literally just showed it for us right there. They just put it on a platter. Here, we'll show you. We actually can't kill him. You're right. Thanks, guys.
They came close. They certainly came close, but. Monet just too far ahead at this point. Too many kills, too many defensive items. Team there to back him up. I mean, he gained like, what, 60, 70% of his health back?
That time walk was a very efficient time walk for sure. He is feeling pretty good. They will take Aegis. That is the first Rosh of the game. He will have it, so now he is definitely not killable. They will take not only one tier 1, but perhaps, or rather tier 2, but perhaps the mid tier 2 as well. In fact, Inflame will get it with one more auto attack. Nothing they can do about that. Now even Inflame is chasing after Yang. Yang has to force himself away. He has a Yules and Blink, so he should be fine. In fact, they're kind of baiting this, I think. But for the most part, LFY, they have now... They pretty much got a dominant lead after that last fight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in terms of the number, it's not that big, but we're just seeing how difficult it is for the Clinks and the Sniper to do anything. DDC is like not completely by himself, but just running in towards Sylar. They do have Monet just around the corner.
He's got a sentry.
5 seconds.
All right, Sylar. On the other side, Super is fighting Yang. Yang is going to Yules himself as he's ruptured up for now. And an Astral will come in. TP is not going to be successful. Super actually does a lot of damage with Blood Rage. Not only that, but he needed the Astral to come through and help him in that regard. Kama was nearby. He had a double damage and he has to leave. He has a Blink Dagger, by the way. So speaking of position, Kama's even realizing, okay, I need to survive. Monet? He sees Fade, I think. He saw a TP from Kama who blinked up to the high ground. And Monet is feeling a bit antsy, I would say. But I don't think he's going to go for anything.
They do still have to win a fight to break the base. Their siege is all right. They can kind of send the Abaddon up. He can take a few swipes. They can back off, but it is always going to be somewhat difficult to high ground into the Sniper. So showing them a bit of respect. The one thing that has improved, well, did improve slightly for VGJ.Thunder is that they actually managed to get some deep wards down over on the dire side of the map, but those are just about to run out.
Yep.
And looks like they don't have any replacements like on the way just yet. The Silencer's just running around with the wards in his inventory.
And now for LFY, it's time to go home. Yes, Sylar is split pushing and trying to deal with the mid wave, but that's not where they're going. They're going bottom, and this tier 3 is already dead. Glyph has already been used. That'll fall. Monet still has the Aegis. Jumping in, he finds the Chronosphere. Sylar is in a lot of trouble. In fact, he's dead. He didn't have death back on. That is a death and perhaps a buyback. They will get the lasso. Will he buy back in? Here comes the Global. They're going to try to fight this for now. Lincoln Sphere is broken. Monet still has the Aegis. They're looking for a different target. Instead, they're going to find Afu. A big kill. Stormhammer gets reflected back with the Lotus Orb. They're still going to work with these racks, and now Inflame is in deep. He does have that borrowed time. He's going to get Yules up in the meantime. They will take racks. They've done a good job just making sure they push everybody back. They don't need to go from range. There's no real reason to. Good disruption save coming out the Rupture now, turning out a Fade. They're jumping back in. Monet still obviously just used that Chronosphere. Manta will come out. A lot of damage being done by Sylar. Monet trying to fight Fade, and Fade actually winning with the help of that Clinks, but they will still take down the Sven. He is dead for 45. Sylar still ready to go. They might jump in. No, they jump away instead. Monet is able to get out. They don't have a lasso. They do have a Yule Scepter. Another Blood Red to cover their retreat, though, and now Monet needs to be very careful. He has the Lincoln Sphere. Still has the Manta Style up in 10 seconds. The Firefly. Yang still chasing for now. Force Staff also up. Inflame borrowed time back up in 2 seconds. That means they definitely cannot chase. They will get an Aegis and Afu out of it, essentially, is what it feels like, not to mention a borrowed time. They will lose almost a full set of racks. In the meantime, Sylar is trying to split push elsewhere, but LFY continue to have their chokehold in this game, base Kip.
Yeah, and it cost them the buyback on the Clinks as well. So Sylar is not going to be able to play nearly as... Well, on the one hand, he has to keep playing aggressively because he needs to keep trying to pick them off so that they can't group up and 5-man them again. But if he dies at this stage, that's probably just game.
Yeah, agreed.
could see that up at top in just a second. He does have a TP scroll.
There's the Rupture. Do they have any detection? He's just going to use his Skeleton Walk and TP, and Super can't do anything about it. But it does force him back. Good work to get him out of that top lane. Stop him from split pushing. So we could wait for another Roche if you're LFY. I don't know if you need to, but if you're going to be safe, which a lot of these teams are, we'll be waiting at least 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Because, again, Aegis is gone. That'll be Cheese and Aegis, which, again, I don't know if they really need. But, again, if you want to be safe, I mean, what are the chances they wait for the next Roche for LFY here, basically?
Oh, I think it's pretty slim, actually. I think they just get the lanes out, they take this shrine, and then they go chrono the Clinks, and that'll be the end of it.
They'll attempt to. He's on a ward right now and a sentry, so Inflame knows he's nearby. In fact, Super is going to Shadow Blade. Now he sees Sylar.
Oh, they see him.
Yeah, and he is going to move to the high ground, try to stay alive. They need some detection.
He doesn't have a TP scroll.
No Rupture for 5. He's going to get Demonic Purge. He's dead. This is a dieback. If they have detection, they do, and DDC is dead. Or rather, excuse me, DDC gets the kill on Sylar, who is dead. And he is dead for 80 seconds, so there's a lot of your damage just gone. They don't even need to chrono him. They could chrono the sniper now, or somebody else for that matter.
Yeah, I was picturing that they would like turn up to the high ground again, and then Void would use his recently acquired 500 cast range talent for Time Walk. Just jump right in, find the Clinks, and that would be the end. But Sylar instead gets caught outside. They do have a glyph, but
I don't know if it's going to do much. Monet is getting peeped. He's going to jump in. Good blink away from Kama. And there's that cast range. You have to zoom out to see it most of the time. Stormhammer will hit, but that's just going to be onto the creeps. Monet's fine. Still getting peeped. So they'll try that again, I think, but I would assume Kama... Oh, they found a last on the other side. Global comes in. Super's the one that's targeted. He has his BKB. Getting caught by Fade. A lot of damage being dealt. There's the Demonic Purge along with the Rupture. Jump in, Chrono. Hits onto 3. Monet is owning, and that is GG. Earth Splitter's not even necessary. They will bring 4 down. Yang's going to be the 5th. He'll Yules himself, but at this point, they're diving the well, essentially, and I don't think Inflame really cares. 16k net with advantage. 17-31 is the final score, and LFY take game 1 in convincing fashion there after the 10-minute mark, I would say, base kip.
What a dominant performance from Monet. 13-0-12 on this Faceless Void. Like, the other lanes were kind of getting clowned on,